Hi, my name is Pau and welcome to my channel. Today I am drawing Bakugo, also from My Hero Academia, just last week's video, and I'm going to talk about fanfics. Just in case someone doesn't know what fanfic means, is the short term for fanfiction. This means stories involving popular fictional characters that are written by fans and often posted on the internet. You can probably find at least one fanfic of everything you can think of because, well, I have seen too many things, and I know for a fact that some people love searching for stories of their favorite characters because I am one of them too, although I am now too lazy to search for them most of the time. But I also had a really long era of searching fanfics and reading fanfics non-stop all day, every day. So now I just write them instead. Well, technically I haven't written anything in a while because I have no goddamn time because I'm working, but I write sometimes. I actually love writing in general. Back in 2019 or something like that, I was writing this story that was supposed to evolve into a novel, but I have no time to study and write simultaneously. So, yeah, well, I did have some free hours here and there, but I really wanted to dedicate time and effort into the characters and the world building, and I didn't have that many hours. So, to continue writing every day, well, every week, but almost every day, and not lose the habit of writing, I started dedicating my time to writing fanfics because, well, it didn't require almost any effort since I was not worried about the stories being as perfect as possible. So it was and still is as simple as just starting writing and seeing where it goes. I now have two stories published. One is a 50 something chapter story that is already finished, and the other one is a one shot story compilation that I still have ongoing. I must say, both of them end up being way more popular than I anticipated, which is nice because, well, people enjoy my way of writing. I'm really happy about that part, obviously. I'm not the proudest about the stories themselves, just because I know they are not my best work, but I am truly happy about the numbers. They are obviously not between the most popular stories of Wattpad because we will be talking about millions of reads here, but yeah, it's more than enough for me. Uh, because, well, as I said, I was expecting much less than that. And this is probably quite obvious, but just in case someone is a little bit lost, quite a chunk of fanfics are just smart. I only use Wattpad because, as I said, I just write in there and don't really read fanfics anymore. I think I stopped when I was around 17 and I am now 23, so it's been a while. But I think most of Wattpad's users are more on the younger side than, for example, AO3. I might be wrong, but that's my impression based on the kind of extremely popular story that pop up on Wattpad when you open it. I think we don't realize how toxic these stories are when we are 13. So topics like stepbrothers, babysitters, almost stalker neighbors, bad boys end up on the top picks, which is now a ginormous red flag for me, at least when I read on the title. So I try to avoid these things as much as possible when writing too, but I still fall into some cliches because, well, it's the popular stuff at the end of the day. But yeah, most of the stuff I write is romance, and again, a bunch of it includes smut. I must say, I felt a little uneasy because, well, I knew for a fact, even without looking at any numbers or statistics, that many people that read my stories were underage. But not 16 kind of underage. I'm talking about people around 12, like even younger, which is crazy to me now that I'm older. But I knew because, well, I was also one of them back in the day when I was 12. But yeah, I was and still am a little bit uncomfortable with that because I write with a lot of detail and I'm quite graphic. And even though I don't believe people should be oblivious to all sex related stuff at that age, I do think that there are some kind of details that you do not need when you are 12. But yeah, since I could not avoid it, I decided to put warnings on the beginning of each no safe for work chapter, and also I wrote some definitions, I put some reminders right at the bottom of each of those chapters, since most of these kind of stories completely go over the part of using protection and consent and all of this. And even though I don't write much anymore, I still log into Wattpad and check the comments and check the numbers. And I may say some comments are so funny, like people are extremely funny. Like they leave memes, they talk with each other, they ask me things. They are really supportive because they don't mind waiting. They appreciate all the information I leave. People are fantastic in there. And as I'm recording this, I have 98k on the one shot story and 330k on the other one, which is way more than fantastic, I think. But I'm not going to leave these links because, well, I don't think there's need for that. So if you want to find me, that is actually in this time. And thinking back in time, I think I started writing these fanfics almost around the time I started using TikTok, and because the algorithm works how it works, it immediately started bombarding me with anime content. I think I have already said this. And at first it was just general anime content, but it turned into headcanons, scenarios, group chat conversations, all of those, if you know what I mean. And it was so entertaining. Although I wouldn't watch or read anything that was strictly based on the characters while being underage, because it creeps me out, since I was around 20, now over 20, and a 16-year-old for me is almost a child. Also, talking about high school feels unnatural already. That's why I only write about work scenarios, university, and similar. I also put a message of the fact that I age up all the characters to be over at least 18. I think that's one of the reasons why I stopped reading that many fanfics, because of the age thing. Also, without trying to be rude, most fanfics, at least in Spanish, are written horrendously. Not that the stories are bad, some of them have really cool arguments, it's just the grammar and the punctuation and all of that. And yes, I could technically read in English, but even though I use English a lot, well, even my channel's in English, I'm not that confident in my vocabulary to read a whole fanfic in English, although I should probably do it to learn new words. And the illustration is already finished, so here is the end result. The background was not on my plan, that's why I don't put them in the speed paint, because I usually start trying stuff with the background till I'm happy with it. But this one is probably the most complex one I have done till now. I really like how it looks. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget that everything is linked down below. Like if you enjoy, subscribe for more content, and I will see you next time. Bye!